Greetings, my scattered brothers and sisters in the Lord. Trust you know the Lord is with you today, wherever you find yourself scattered, and that you know that his presence with you is more than enough for whatever you might face today. Our psalm today is Psalm number 23. I'm sure it's one that many of you have memorized. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. There's a few things I want to highlight here. At the beginning of the psalm, we have this line that he leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Now, the imagery is shepherd imagery, and the shepherd cares for the sheep, takes care of the sheep, knows what the sheep need. But he leads them in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. The shepherd's reputation is on the line. Yes, the shepherd cares about the sheep, but if the sheep aren't well cared for, if the shepherd doesn't do a good job, not only do the sheep suffer, but the shepherd's reputation suffers. And so the shepherd is going to make sure that he does a good job of caring for the sheep for the sake of his own name. And that's the point the psalmist is making here, that we can count on God to lead us right, not simply because God cares about us, wonderful as that is, but that God is going to lead us right, do us right, care well for us, because God's very reputation is on the line. If God doesn't do a good job with us, then who's going to turn to worship our God? If God doesn't lead us rightly, if God doesn't do us rightly, if God doesn't care for us well, then people are going to look at us and think, why would I ever want to worship their God? And so the psalmist is reminding us that we can be sure that God is going to lead us rightly because God's own reputation is on the line. He leads us in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. God wants to be known and known well. And so God is going to care for us and lead us rightly so that people will be able to look at our lives and look at how God leads us and guides us and realize what a good and gracious and wonderful God we serve. The end of the psalm, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. That word follow is a pretty strong word. It's not like when you're on the freeway and you just happen to be behind somebody and you're following them until you get off or they get off. And it's just happenstance that you're following. No, this word follow is the idea of pursuing. And so it's used when an army is pursuing somebody. And so surely goodness and mercy shall pursue me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. So at the front end, we have God leading us in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. And then we have God pursuing us with his goodness and his mercy. And of course, there in the middle of the psalm, even though I pass through the valley of the shadow of death, that I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. So we have God out in front leading us for his name's sake. We have God chasing after us with his goodness and mercy. And then we have the promise of God's presence with us, even in the midst of the valleys, the shadows of death. Great psalm, great message. Don't know where you find yourself scattered today, but I'm trusting that you're recognizing that the Lord is leading you right. The Lord's very reputation is on the line, and that God is chasing us with his goodness and mercy, and that he's present with us right now wherever we find ourselves scattered. So, have a great day. The Lord be with you, and just live with the assurance that he's leading you rightly for his name's sake, and he's chasing you with his goodness and mercy. May we find ourselves caught time and time again. God bless. Have a great day.